Hello, hello. Yes, welcome to the stream. Don't know how long I'm gonna be chatting with y'all, but we are going to be drawing today. More specifically, we are redrawing. Before we do any of that, oh, no, that's gotta mute. Gotta go over to video kills the radio. Damn, y'all. You really showed up for that 9-hour stream. Damn. Where's all the chatting? Where's the chatting? That's crazy. If only I could stream 9 hours every day. Yeah. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? That'd be fucking crazy. I think it's the most viewers, most concurrent viewers I've had. Can we see the analytics on this one? I don't even look at that. First I gotta check YouTube. Oh, what is this? Potential video. Oh no. Oh. What is that? Okay, possible video to watch. Israel strikes Rafah camp. Damn, we're going crazy with the fucking transphobia videos today. Alright, anyways. I've fallen off. Not even getting views on my VODs. I can't believe this. I can't fucking believe this. Are you fucking kidding me? Not a one view? My goodness. Last one before I got on 14 views. 65 views! What in the hell? To get 65 views, people were trying to call the number on screen? Yeah. Surprise, surprise. I was not... paying attention. This is the stupidest shit. Oh yeah, I was gonna check my videos, see which one I've got. Okay. Alright, so I need this one? Question mark? Exclamation point? Someone's calling me. Turn that down. Oh, not too far down. A little bit of extra music for the art streams, of course. Whew, it's getting chilly in here. It's getting real chilly. Oh, right. I was gonna mute this. Should be muted anyway. This one's an interesting one. Because I get some cool audience interaction. Yeah, if you wish to interact, please walk up to the monolith and speak your truth, queen. Alright, chat box is up. Let me see where it's at. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so that's that one. Right, that's that. Okay. And the 9-hour one. You gotta love the 9-hour one. That's crazy. I feel like I should actually split up the 9-hour one into 15-minute segments. Would that be too much? What do I do in the 9 hours? I think I just draw. I think I'm drawing the whole time. I mean, not gonna lie, I think I should do both. I kind of want to. Oh no, actually no. Since I'm redrawing, I'm just gonna. Yeah, that would make sense. We're just gonna export that. You get a whole 9-hour pod if you want to fucking look at it or whatever. Alright, that's cool. And then this one, we're gonna do a double export, right? So we're gonna export once, then we're also going to export in 15-minute segments. That'll make it easier for me to split it up and then make it into YouTube shorts. Yes. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the YouTube shorts, but I think I'm just gonna make the shorts and then, fucking. Goodness, it's so cold in here. I think I'm gonna make the shorts, put some fucking B tier TikTok music over it, and we're gonna move on. Ugh, jeez. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna look at a reference here. There's a car wash station here? What do you mean? Wait, what the fuck? What do you mean there's a car wash station? Bruh. And somebody's parked there. That's crazy. Now that's crazy. Some people like to call me crazy. Some people would say I'm a little bit crazy. That's not a bad picture at all. Sorry, I'm looking at fucking pics. I took some selfies today, and I think I look pretty cute. I'm just gonna heart my favorite ones. Okay. I got myself some, what's it called? South American style Coca-Cola. Delicious. Delicious. Delectable. Yum. Scrumptious. Okay, let's watch some videos while I draw. Right. Okay, hold on. Pull the videos up. That video. And this video. Okay. Nope. I'm going to click on history. I only like certain parts of In the Dark of Night. I only like most of the visuals of In the Dark of Night, actually. We'll finish it off with some cringe Hassan Abi. Yes, queen. Okay. A little known YouTuber here. Alright, let's play that video. Up in the corner. It's out of my way. We're gonna shrink it down just a little bit. So that it's out of my way. I'll make it bigger for you. Give me a minute here. Chat box. Oh, it's in the way of the chat box. I guess the chat box can move like up here, I guess. On top of the... Yeah, it doesn't matter. Chat's not gonna stay up for too long. Cool, cool. And I want to move this. Like over here in the corner. It is gonna have to be small. My bad. That's the only corner you can really go in. Which means we gotta get rid of. Okay. Actually make it bigger now. Chat's in the corner. Alright, let's press play, shall we? Oh.
Welcome, members of the audience, to What Would You Like to Buy Online Today? Some ill-manufactured toys for children, dangly little choking hazards included, skin disease, or maybe you'd like to fund the ongoing crisis of, child indentured servitude. That's bad. You can fund all of this and more by going to Temu. Oh, God, it sucks. Temu, a Chinese dropshipping company that has nothing going for it. Honestly, I can't comprehend why people use this app. It is so bad. It's useless. It really doesn't have anything going for it except for really low prices for really bad products, you know? They say you pay for what you get, and they couldn't be more right about this. This right here. On Temu, you can get so many things, including silicone baby figurines. Lifelike, 10 of them for $45. Why? Truly, you can get anything on Temu that you can get on, like, Amazon, except for this time it's made with cheap fabrics, bad plastics, and overall terrible quality. All thanks to our old little pal, drop shipping. And if you don't know what drop shipping is, completely, it means that a company that has off-site warehouses. Basically, it means that the company that is a drop shipping company, they don't have everything on site. A lot of the stuff that they advertise or ship to you or sell to you are off-site. They're not in their warehouse. They are elsewhere, which leads to a lot of problems that we will go through. The reason a place like Target isn't a drop shipping company, even though not everything they own is going to be in a store ready to be sold to you, it's, you know, shipped to them, is because everything is through Target. Everything that they sell, everything that they manufacture, everything that they do is either through a company that they work with or through Target. They don't have any third-party people making all of their Target brand stuff. They do it. And everything they sell to you is usually through their storefront. If you order something online through Target, it probably comes from a store or is shipped to you or delivered to you directly from that store. It's not usually just going to be straight from somewhere else. And the reason Amazon isn't a drop shipping company is because though they suck and they're terrible, they do everything themselves. They don't ship things from some third-party warehouse in Russia because they can. They don't. They ship it all through Amazon. You get what I'm saying, right? Amazon isn't drop shipping because everything that they sell is sold through them. Everything they ship is shipped through them. They do the quality check. They do the checks and certificates of everything will be fine and you won't get a disease shipped to you through this package because we check it and we make it and all that stuff. And that's your quick crash course on drop shipping. And I'm sure you're wondering, how did anybody ever think drop shipping could be a good idea? Yeah, I asked myself that same thing, but you know, Temu exists. Let's go over all the reasons they suck.
Like a dream feels like magic. Now I believe I can handle it.
The hell is this?
Ah, great. We're starting off great. This is great. This is awesome. Yeah, the keen-eyed will realize what is wrong with that ad, and I can't find any way to describe it without, like, any of it being clipped, and then it makes me out to be a terrible person because it's that bad, which makes me think it is a good ad. Maybe, and hear me out, it's terrible and disgusting, but their marketing was good, because now all the people can't complain about it because it's, they'll get clipped. Ha! No, but actually this ad's stupid. Whoever came up with this ad, I don't even know how that could possibly go down. Oh, hey Terry. How you doing? Are you working on that ad for our terrible, horrendous company that we work for day in and day out? Oh, hey, Clarence. Yeah, this ad needs something. I don't know. It's missing something. I can't really put my finger on it, but it just needs some more pizzazz. Oh, I have an idea though. Oh, I have a great idea. Do you know what makes people happy? No, I got no clue. I mean, there are plenty of things, but I don't know. You're probably talking about something in specific. No, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, Clarence. Sorry. People are always at their happiest when they have clear skin. Yes, that is a great. Oh my god, when my skin is clear and bright, it makes me so much happier. It really does. Oh, yes, Terrence, when I take care of my skin and it looks good and I feel good and it looks good, you know? I know exactly what you're talking about. This is gonna be the best ad that any company has ever made, ever. Terry, what? Yeah, that ad is just a little goof in comparison to the many lawsuits and problems that they have caused for many people. Because, yeah, there are still ongoing lawsuits for this company. For instance, they have stolen so much information. Like, so much. It is absurd. They probably make a lot of their profits off of the fact that they steal information from people. You know, they sell all this stolen information because their app asks you term and conditions, blah, 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 which nobody reads. And I would say maybe we should, but nobody's gonna do that. It's so long, and some people did, and then they found out that, oh, you have all the rights to my information on my phone if I press this little check mark box, huh? And then people, of course, realized that their information was being stolen. You know, all these apps that I commonly use are now knowing everything about me. Weird. You know, what all started with that orange little box, that company with the best deals, but you can't even call it a company with the best deals. Stealing people's information is a common practice now, and that is strange and absurd to me. Obviously, that's baffling, but the problem is not inherently just that they're like every other terrible company and they steal information. It is how much information they have stolen. It is how much information they have stolen. It is wild. People still use this app frequently too. It's most popular in England. Yeah, it is. And for some reason that makes sense. I hate to say it, Brits, but it makes a lot of sense that you guys would like this. You know, like silicone babies, that seems like an English thing, like a British thing, you know? Like, ooh, me and my little baby. Also, God bless the king. You're not real. Also, guys, Temu's stealing your information. Anybody with that app right now, please delete it. Oh my god, please delete it. But But if you're not convinced
I
now
don't think I
why
ever
that app is
had
terrible, if you don't care about people stealing
any
your
of those,
information
like,
and making racist
drop shipping
advertisements,
apps
that, you know,
ever.
that can all be forgiven if you want to, I guess. But plenty of false advertising,
first
obviously.
one
There are
that
plenty
wasn't
more ads where
Temu.
it's just like some lady screaming
I'd wish
about how, like, nobody will buy our
for, like, a
stuff.
couple
I'm sure you
weeks,
saw it, like,
and then I
6 months ago or
tried to
whatever,
buy,
where
like,
some lady was just, nobody will buy our
I
stuff.
bought, like, an
Our
emulator
drones
off
are
of it,
50
and
cents.
it broke.
Buy them. Oh my god, I'm gonna smash them with a
It
baseball
immediately
bat
broke.
because nobody will buy it. If I can find a clip, I'll put it in here somewhere, but I don't know. Those ads were, like, short-lived. Basically, those were all false advertising. That's a problem. What's more of a problem is the fact of they have so many children's toys. So many that have caused children harm. Their toys are made to be so cheap and breakable and just terribly unsafe for people that they are advertised to be for. Not any skin rashes or anything like that. No, they're so cheaply made that they snap at an instant of any amount of pressure and then are quickly inhaled into that child's system, and then they cause irreparable damage to that child's body. And that has happened not once, not twice, but many times, and they have many ongoing lawsuits involving this problem. I can't comprehend how this company is afloat. That means they have made a disgusting amount of money, and it is probably absurd how much money they have made off of their company. But overall, they probably have a lot more money than Amazon. Just because of the illegal stuff they are doing. Speaking of more illegal stuff, they sent somebody to the hospital.
Now
Look at
we
the
have
latency.
Temu
What
that
is happening?
has sent out this stress ball.
I'm just using
and
MS Paint.
This lady received this stress ball she ordered from Temu. She got it, and there was like this white powder substance on the outside. Maybe she used it and she thought, oh, this is okay, it's just part of the filling or whatever. Turns out that white powder was like an anthrax type substance.
Putting gloves on BC, someone said they got hands, foot, and mouth disease by opening their Temu package.
Again, drop shipping has a lot of
way.
problems with it inherently, but specifically it's because they are not monitored by people who give any number of about what happens to the product that is being shipped. And then you get instances where problems like this arise, where skins of people are exposed to the chemicals or diseases that other people had while dealing with these clothes that are very inexpensive, but, you know, those clothes are worn by people who buy it. And then the people who were shipping it and handling it might have had some kind of virus or rash or something that was then put onto that clothing item that was then worn by some English or American person who thought, oh, $4 for a blouse? Don't mind if I do. And then you get a skin rash because drop shipping. Yeah, it's great. But also, the worst possible thing that came of this drop shipping problem was an incident. An incident of a man who bought a stress ball. An innocent little stress ball that he didn't know was going to be covered in anthrax. I've heard multiple cases of it being a man or a woman, so I'm just gonna go with the former. Just going forward, there might be multiple cases here, which would make this even worse than it already is. What is anthrax, you ask? It sounds like the demonic spawn from a medieval movie. Well, it's not too
Anthrax is
far
a
off.
preservative
It's a
for
fatal
plastics.
skin disease that is transmitted through cows, bovines, you know, those kinds of things, and sheep.
Oh wait, not
Also,
anthrax. I'm thinking of
it's a disease, a skin
what is it?
disease that is transmuted through these animals,
Asbestos?
and then when it is given to people,
Formaldehyde.
it can be
Formaldehyde is
extremely
you
fatal.
can get
Thankfully, this man
anthrax
made a
from
full recovery,
formaldehyde.
apparently, allegedly, because a lot of this is word of mouth. There
or
isn't
something
much
like that. You
about
don't want
this
to.
right now
No,
because
no,
it just happened
formaldehyde can
recently.
give you cancer.
But thankfully, this man apparently made it out unscathed, fine. Probably a scar or something from the skin wound that comes from anthrax. But thankfully, overall, that person is okay. That does not excuse the fact that a man got anthrax from a Temu product. What? How does that happen? The obvious answer for how
Temu
that
products
happens
also
is
are
because
always
drop
covered in
shipping, like I've said
formaldehyde.
multiple times. Do you know what also
Well,
happens to
and
be
that's
drop
mostly
shipping?
because,
the
like-
TikTok shop. Yeah, the TikTok shop is drop shipping. Guys, stop ordering stuff from the TikTok shop. Whenever I see one of those ads of people being like, oh my god, look at this water flosser, put put your mouthwash in this water flosser.
If you
It'll
buy like
work
clothing
wonders
from
on your
these
gums. You have
dropshipping
no idea.
places,
It's great for you.
they
Yeah, that
could
goes in
come
your
with
mouth.
formaldehyde.
And it's a product of drop shipping. Oh my god. When you connect the dots and you realize how many things are drop shipping, me personally, I've never used any drop shipping companies or things like that to get me things because it's not safe nor is it okay. But thankfully there aren't many
Luckily, I
problems
never
with the
really
TikTok
bought
shop because it's
clothing
mostly
from those
people who are
drop
doing it,
shipping
like
sites.
regular everyday people. But
Also, I don't
because
think
it
it
is
was
drop
as
shipping, it could
popular
inherently
now
have the
since,
same
you know,
problems
there's
as Temu.
TikTok
For
has a
instance,
fucking
one of those
dropshipping
main
thing.
problems, one of the main terrible problems is the fact that they use slaves. They use indentured servants who have no freedom, they do not get paid,
Sick.
and they work for this
They
company
fucking
day in
run
and
it
day out
back.
with no amenities,
That's
no workers' rights,
disgusting.
and definitely they're
But
not
I knew
being
that. I
paid.
knew that
The only
Timo
thing
did
that they
that.
get to do is stay alive, is what I'm guessing, because that's often how you keep people under indentured servitude. So BBC let out an article about this, and I would just like to say that, like, the British Broadcasting Network is absurd to me. This is on a tangent, but like on this article, they say things that make absolutely no sense to me. In this quote here I put on screen for you to read says, "The question consumers need to ask themselves is, these goods that are in essence made by slaves, is that the kind of gift you want to give at Christmas?" Guys, what? We're not worried about Christmas. We're not worried about giving these as gifts. What we're worried about is the fact that the problem is that these people are under slavery. That's the problem. These people are being taken advantage of.
Who
It
the
shouldn't
fuck's
matter
that?
to you whether you're
The
giving that as a
fucking- the
gift or
British?
whatever. Like, again, British people, bro. What is going on over there? Y'all are wild. Wild, I say. But I digress. The problem isn't we're giving these as gifts. The problem isn't, oh no, what about Christmas? What about Kris Kringle? No, the problem is, in this article, that they divulged a lot of the facts that people have been finding out about Temu, and a lot of those facts involve that they're not paying their workers, like, at all. None. Zip. They're not giving money, they're not giving housing, they're not giving anything to these people. They're not paying them in any way, which is illegal worldwide for a good goddamn reason. I shouldn't have to explain this, but I feel the need. Every single person is the exact same thing, okay?
Yes.
We are all exactly the same constitution of molecules and brain waves, and in essence, we all kind of are the same organism. We just have different experiences and different, life paths or whatever. So what I never understood is how somebody could think, oh, that thing that is exactly the same as me shouldn't have any right to anything, so I'm gonna make them work for me because it makes me a lot of money. That train of thought is literally the most idiotic train of thought ever. There is no way that should make any sense to anybody. There is no reality to that mindset because people are all the same. We're literally all the same makeup of things. Any experience you've ever had has probably been had by somebody else. And that means
The
that
hood
you
was
are
too small.
putting somebody in a position who is almost exactly like you in every way except for their experiences, a living being who is able to experience the same emotions as you, in a position that you probably wouldn't even put like your son or your grandmother or anything like that because you have more value for that person. And that overall doesn't make any sense. Slavery doesn't make any sense, guys. And it doesn't even stop there. That's the biggest issue. The biggest issue is that it just keeps
Slavery
going.
doesn't
Not
make
only do
sense.
they have
We
they
figured
have
it out.
children working for them who are
Child
unpaid,
slavery.
unhoused. They are given no workers' rights. They have nothing. They
I'm
have
being
people
hard on
working at their
I just thought
warehouses and their
something.
other third-party warehouses that they have nothing to do with, who are children, let alone that they are unpaid, that they are under indentured servitude. None of that, right? The biggest issue is that they have children working for them who are not paid. Guys, can you delete Timo from your phone now? Can we all coherently agree that this app sucks and that we shouldn't use it, that we shouldn't order from them, that they are terrible? Just alone, the fact that they have so many lawsuits going on should make sure that people stop using this app, this service. It is not a service that could give you anthrax. It could literally end your life. Please stop using it for that fact alone. Okay? Temu sucks. They're really bad. They're really bad. Dropshipping as a whole should stop, but because of the fact alone that it's less monitored, it's less taken care of, a lot of the things that are shipped to people through these companies are overall less safe. They're less checked, they're less kept in check. They're not safe really at all. And that's the biggest issue. Temu just took it a step further, and then another step further, and then another step further, and then another step further, and yeah, they suck. All right, stop using Temu, please, God. You know where Temu's going? Right down into loser hell. Loser hell. Yes, that's where you're going. I hope you're not comfy at all. I really hope it doesn't treat you well. It doesn't. It won't. Have fun. Whew. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. You have a great attention span. Delete Temu from your phone, please. I really appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know how you felt about this one. All right, let me know. Also, if you're drawing, crocheting, doing your laundry, I'm proud of you. You're doing great. You're doing amazing. It's awesome. It looks good. Make sure to clean your room, get all your cups and dishes and all your stuff cleaned up and good, all right? Maybe vacuum. Could always use a good vacuuming, right? Sounds good, doesn't it? This video is brought to you by this member. Wow. You're pretty awesome. You're pretty great. You're pretty cool. You're pretty snazzy, and I really appreciate you. You're super cool. Awesome, awesome, amazing. All right? I can't do it without you. You make the wheels turn. All my members do. You're all amazing. If you want to be featured in a Lewis video, just become a member. You'll be right there. This video is a terrible subject to cover. Like, I can't say it enough how gross and terrible Temu is. Like, they just keep going. The amount of bad that they are just keeps going. Like, I'm sure I could find 10 or more things than this that are bad about Temu. But I just felt like I had to get the worst of the worst out there. Like, this... They have probably ended lives that just, it hasn't been recorded because, well, no, they died from this disease, but how did they get that disease? It's because it came from a package that somebody got, and whatever, you know? They have probably actively hurt so many people, let alone the unpaid people who are children and adults who work for them, excluding those people who have suffered so much. The consumers of this company have been hurt as well, all right? And that's less of an issue than the unpaid people, but it just doesn't make any sense why people are using the app still to this day, right? I wasn't going to make a video on Temu, but people are still using it. Stop, okay? Jeez, all right? Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. You're amazing. I hope you have a good morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. Later.
Greetings, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. The other day, someone sent me an email asking me to look at some Sinfest comics, and I realized that I have not done that for a really long time, so most of you have probably not seen those videos. I have looked at Sinfest comics twice now, but they were like a year and a half ago, so a lot's happened since then. They've not gotten any better, so that's fun. Yeah, so I thought we would sit down and we would have a look and see what Sinfest has been up to. If you aren't aware, Sinfest is like a really long-running like newspaper comic. They're not in the newspaper anymore. They are primarily on Twitter, and I believe he has a website of his own. But they used to be very like feminist comics. A lot of my subscribers, a lot of you guys used to read these comics and enjoy these comics, and then they kind of took a turn for the turf, and not anymore. They're now like very just transphobic, homophobic, anti-woke. That's the whole thing, that's the whole deal. So yeah, we're gonna look at that today. But before we get into it, I would like to take a moment to say thank you to today's patron of the day, Taylor. I appreciate you and all of your support. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become Patreon, go to patreon.com/savvycat. Click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month, and it means a lot. I'm starting to do more music stuff now, which I will be updating on Patreon for different tiers of what I'm doing there. So if you want to keep in the loop about that, that's where to find it. And if you didn't know that I do music, I do music, or I did music, and I'm currently trying to do it again. And all of my songs are available on all streaming platforms, which is in the description. Anyway, that aside, the video. Let's get into some Sinfest comics. Buckle up, because it's not a good time. So, we start off in a classroom, and the teacher is holding 2 dildos, and it says, let's review. Butt plugs and dildos are for play. Packers are for creating a penile bulge. And then sees a backpack that is camo with a Doge patch, a Bitcoin patch, and a don't step on me patch. And she says, you can't bring that into the classroom, while she's holding the 2 dildos. Or I guess one of them's meant to be a packer. I don't understand how these people have interpreted us wanting age-appropriate, comprehensive sex education in schools as coming in and talking about dildos in a room of 8-year-olds. Like,
It's just not.
how
what's
did you
happening.
get here? Why are you just fear-mongering? Why are you out here pretending this is a thing that is happening? No one is bringing dildos into class, especially not into a fucking primary school. That's not happening. That's not happening at all. Also, packers aren't sexual. It's nothing sexual about a packer at all. It's literally just about, like, gender affirmation. And so I don't really understand your problem with that at all in the first place. It's not really anything about it that's, like, sexual or inappropriate at all. In general, they're not talking about
But it is
pleasure in
very
a classroom
gender.
of, like, children, you know? However, I do think at an age-appropriate level, as in when you're into high school, that should be a part of the conversation. And I know that's a controversial take for whatever reason, but I do think it's important. I think starting young, we need to learn about our bodies, you know, and consent. That is very important. You should start that very young, because you need to know how to name your body parts. You need to know about consent and what isn't okay. That is very important. You need to always do that. And then I do think when you get to high school, you absolutely should be learning about pleasure, because, like, a lot of people now, a lot of kids learn about sex through porn, right? Is that good? No. Should kids have access to porn? Absolutely not. Do they? Yes, they do. And so a lot of the time, that's what they learn about sex. They learn about it through porn. And a lot of the time, that is objectifying and hurting women, right? It's very often very, like, penis-centric, and it comes down to just, like, abusing women effectively a lot of the time. And so, like, we are sort of taught this dynamic, because it's not taught at school, that sex is meant to be pleasurable for men and just something that happens to women.
Goodness.
You know? And I feel like if we learnt about pleasure more at school, then I could have saved myself a lot of harm, because my abuser told me that sex was meant to hurt. I was meant to be uncomfortable. I wasn't supposed to be comfortable during sex. It was meant to be painful. That's how it's meant to be. That's just what sex is. And, like, I didn't know any better, you know? No one talked about that. No one taught that, you know? And, like, I was 14, right? Like, and you can say that that's not age appropriate all you want, but, like, 14-year-olds are having sex, regardless of what you're being taught at school or not taught at school. 14-year-olds are having sex. A lot of people I know, a lot of people I went to school with, started having sex when they were 15, right? That's the age group of when people started having sex, was like 15, 16. Not everyone, but, like, a lot of my friends, a lot of people I knew. And so, like, you do have to talk about that, because a lot of them were also in situations where it's not about you. You don't learn about your pleasure, and you don't learn about how to communicate what you want. You don't learn about how to express that you're uncomfortable. You don't learn about any of that shit. And you can say that that's not appropriate all you want, but, like, it is appropriate, because kids do have sex. Whether you think they should or not doesn't matter. It's happening, and it needs to be talked about at school so that kids can keep themselves safe And they can prevent like abuse from happening, it can prevent STIs, it can prevent pregnancy, etc. It's all so important. Not in like the 3rd fucking grade. You're not coming in and talking about pleasure and how sex feels good and how to like communicate that to your partner when you're 7 years old. Get your head out of your ass. That's not happening. But when you're older, it should be a conversation. That's all I'm saying. Next up, we have this like small child pointing at a woman saying, "You look like a lesbian." And this woman turning around, pointing a gun at her and saying, "You're under arrest, assault with a deadly weapon." So she says, "What? What weapon?" And the lady says, "Your hateful bigot mouth." What? What? No one cares. Literally, no one gives a fuck. Especially when a child says, "You look like a lesbian." Like, it's not a, it's a weird thing for like someone to say, you know? It's like not very polite, sure. But like, it's not worth getting like mad about when it comes from a child, especially, right? People assume I'm a lesbian all the time. And it's frustrating because I constantly say that I'm not, and I have to express and remind people that my name is the queer Kiwi, not the lesbian Kiwi. And like, I know that queer is an umbrella term, but I identify as queer. People always call me a lesbian, and I'm not, and I've said that so many times, so it's frustrating. But like, I don't like care to the point where I would point a gun at someone. I don't think anyone cares that much. You can be slightly annoyed, right? And be like, it's an annoying thing for you to say that to me. Or like, just even say like, that's a bit of a stereotype, you know? Being like, you're stereotyping me, maybe don't make these assumptions and don't say these things to people. That's fine. No one's getting legitimately angry about it unless it's someone in your life who has done it time and time and time over, and they are doing it deliberately to hurt you. That's the difference here. It's about intent. If someone is constantly saying, "You look like a lesbian," I'm like, "I'm not a lesbian, please stop stereotyping me," and they constantly will keep calling me a lesbian, then I'm gonna get pissed, you know? I'm gonna get annoyed because I'm like, you're disrespecting my identity on purpose, and that's not an okay thing to do. But when it's especially a child just saying shit, because kids just say shit, no one cares. No one gives a fuck. No one cares. Kids say so much worse. When I was a child, I asked my 16-year-old cousin who had an eating disorder if she was pregnant. Not because of how she looked, but just genuinely I didn't understand where babies came from because I was like a child. And in my head at that time, I kind of thought that everyone was pregnant all the time and you just got to choose when you wanted to have a baby. Like, that's how I thought it worked. So I like asked her. She was obviously incredibly inappropriate. Like, what? I didn't know. Kids don't know any better. They just say shit. Some things hurt more than others too, but like having a child be like, "You look like a lesbian," no one cares. This is a career day at school, and there's a stall that has a bunch of dildos and it says "sex work for kids." And the kid's like, "What? You can't do that. What the heck?" And the person at the stall says, "It's okay. I have a permit." And it's just a piece of paper that says, "I can do what I want," with a pride flag, a rainbow, and a trans dildo. I like have no words for some of these because literally, like, in what world are you living? Like, what plane of existence are you in right now to make shit like this and think it holds even a sliver of reality? I'm incredibly worried about your worldview. Because how did you end up here? How did you end up here? Why are you constantly drawing like sex in schools and like this sex work around children and just obsessed with this idea of like sex and kids? And you're saying you're doing it to like critique us, but we're not saying this. But you really love drawing it. And I'm gonna need you to reflect and I need you to get some help. Because what the fuck is going on? This isn't happening. This would never happen.
Draw cringy
No one is
OCs.
trying to sell sex work to kids.
You dirty bitches.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Also, like, the whole thing of, like, it's so weird to imply that the majority of sex workers are queer, because they're not. They're not. A majority of sex workers, just like a majority of the population, are straight. Like, cis-het people make up the majority of sex workers because cis-het people make up the majority of the population. Really it's so weird. It's so strange. This next one is 6 parts, so you're going to have to bear with me. And it's called Chest Feeder. It's the same character that they keep using, going and taking a bunch of female hormones and then seeing a mother pushing a pram with a baby in it. The baby is crying. This person is like upset, and so they go to the adoption agency. They adopt a baby, and now they're sitting on a park bench, chest feeding, and they have deliberately drawn this trans woman like manspreading with showing her underwear and like a bulge, because of course they did, because they see that as a necessary thing to do. And then the other mother who is breastfeeding looks at her and says, "That's sick." And she says, "I'm a mother performing her motherly duties." And the cis woman says, "You're a sick man with a sick fetish abusing a baby." And the trans woman says, "That's violence. You just did violence on me." So the cis woman says, "I'm reporting you." And they say, "Ha ha ha, you have no power here. This is trans country." And she says, "You won't get away with this, pedophile." And then the last frame of this is the trans woman saying, "Watch me," with like politicians behind her. 911, what's your emergency? There is a man forcing a baby to suck on his nipple. Whoa, 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 slow down. Are you sure this person is a man? Did you ask for their pronouns? Have you considered their feelings? And that's how that goes. And migraine, nightmare. Like, I truly don't understand how you can think this, how you can get here. I don't understand how it's any different. Like, I just truly don't understand the difference. They're the same nipples. If you, as a cis woman, are breastfeeding your baby to have that, like, mother-child bond and to give your child the nutrients they need, and you're not doing it for any ulterior motive, because that would be fucking weird and gross if you were, then why can't you understand that trans women are literally just doing the same thing? Like, trans women are mothers, and they want to have that same bond with their child as you do as a cis woman, because that's like a magical part of being a mother, you know? And there are a lot of cis women who aren't able to breastfeed, and some cis women will end up taking like hormones or other. And then some cis women end up taking hormones in order to produce breast milk so that they can breastfeed their baby and have that connection with them. Like, it's not exclusive to trans women. Some cis women also don't naturally produce, like, breast milk or enough breast milk to breastfeed, you know? Like, and are you gonna say that's gross and wrong? Like, trans women are women, and they just want to breastfeed their babies, you know? Like, it's truly not that difficult to understand. It's not for any ulterior motive at all. I don't know why you would even try to pretend that it is. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. We have the same nipples. They are literally the same nipples. Calm down, okay? It's just a mother feeding her baby. There's nothing weird about it. Next up, we have a pretty fucked up one that is meanwhile in Ukraine, and it's people like chilling by the beach, drinking cocktails, playing games, and then someone comes and says, "Sir, it's soldier time. Makeup, lights, action." And he gets into a like army outfit, and he stands in front of a green screen, and they make it look like there's a war behind him, and he's saying, "Situation desperate, death everywhere, send more money." And this is insanely fucked up. Holy shit. What the fuck? What the fuck? Trying to say that there's no war in Ukraine right now is one of the most fucked up and insensitive things. Like, cities have been bombed. Thousands of people have lost their homes, their lives. Like, it's not a small deal. And they do need aid. You know, like, they're asking for a reason. They do need help. So many people are fucking dying. Trying to say that then it's all made up so that their country can get more money is an actual disgusting thing to say. And this comic lost them a lot of followers. Even a lot of the like TERFs and things that followed them were like, this one crosses the line. This is incredibly fucked up. You've lost a follower today. Because like, yeah, what the fuck? Holy shit. I just, this person has gone just like so far with their political views to like the point where it's so harmful and so backwards. Next up, we have another long one. This one is 7 parts, so bear with me as I try to explain what's happening in them. It is saying over 6 billion trafficked. This is at an adoption agency or surrogacy agency. It says, your order is ready. Here's a gay couple saying, our baby, big tip for the surrogate, please. Would you like to keep in touch with her? No, we're done with her. Just send the tip. I mean, it's valid, honestly. That is how this works. That's kind of valid. And then it shows a woman who is pregnant. She's going and getting a scan. You know, she's eating. She's got a photo of the scan in her house, doing yoga. She has a nursery set up for some reason. Her water breaks. She gives birth. The baby is immediately taken away from her. And then she's like looking out the hospital window to like a queue of other pregnant women who are presumably about to go through the same thing. The nurse comes in and says, how are you doing? Where's my baby? I want to see my baby. The item has been shipped, I'm afraid. Thank you for your service. Successful product launch. And then it goes into saying, my body, my choice. We bring happiness to others. And pregnant women going, oh, he kicked me. And then getting zapped by this weird little space robot thing saying, no naming the product. What? I'm sorry. I just need a minute because...
he's a name. Interesting.
What? How in the ever-living fuck did you get here? Like, do you know what surrogacy is? Like, okay, there's so many layers to this. We're gonna start with just saying, first and foremost, surrogates sign up for this. They know what they're signing up for. People are not getting pregnant and then having their babies taken away by gay people. That's not happening. One, surrogacy doesn't exist
That's too much
just
research.
for gay people. It exists for heterosexual couples who have fertility problems but want
you can't expect
their
this
own
comic artist
biological
to
child.
do
Like
that kind of
Kat's mom
research.
was a surrogate for her cousin because she had to have her ovaries removed due to cancer. She kept some eggs. She wanted her own child, so Kat's mom was a surrogate for her, right? That's how this works. It works for queer couples, and it works for people with fertility issues or
I know how to fix this.
anything like that, right? And I'm pretty
I know
sure
what
that's
I have to
probably
do.
the majority of surrogates that happen, if I'm being completely honest. The surrogates sign up for it. They know what they're doing. Most of the time, you know, the parents who are going to adopt this baby are paying for all the bills and the appointments and stuff. They're often attending the appointments and stuff. You know, they're paying for it, they're attending it. They're getting the surrogate anything they need in order to help the pregnancy be helpful, in order to make their experience like more comfortable, etc. Because, you know, they're carrying their child, right? They signed up for this. A lot of the time it's a friend or a family member. And yes, there are sometimes people who do it for money, which that is a problem. If people are feeling like they have to do this in order to make a living, in order to be able to pay bills or whatever, they're like renting out their bodies. I understand that that's an issue, but that's a capitalism issue. That's not a gay issue. That's a capitalism issue. That needs to be solved because people shouldn't feel like they have to do that. You know, we should be adopting more and such. That's a separate thing. That's got actually nothing to do with this. Also, saying that these women are having their babies taken off them, that they're waiting, that they've set up a nursery, that they're waiting to have these babies and are being stolen. They can't even hold them. Like, fun fact here, that even if you are a surrogate mother, your name goes on the birth certificate. You give birth and your name goes on the birth certificate. You can change your mind. You've given birth to the baby. That is legally, after birth, your baby. If you don't want to give that baby to the people who are using you as a surrogate, you don't have to. You legitimately don't have to. It will crush them. You know, if you have like a relationship with them, they're probably never going to speak to you ever again. It'll crush them. But you do have that choice. because you have to go through a formal adoption process
You
in
have
order
the choice
for
to
the
crush people's
parents
souls.
to actually have that baby. If
Why
you
was
gave
they
birth
using,
to
like,
it, that's
the
your
fucking
baby
flavor
until
food?
they
That's
adopt
why
it, which
the
typically
lines come out
happens
that way.
almost immediately, but that is how it goes. You can change your mind. No one is stealing these babies. You're not gonna get paid if you're doing it in the way that, like, you are carrying the baby and stuff. They're not gonna pay you, obviously. They might sue you to get all the money back for appointments and such. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but you can keep the baby if you want to. That is something you can do. So, like, literally everything about this comic, there's not a single truth in this comic other than capitalism is bad because some women feel like they need to rent out their bodies. That's a problem. However, that's not how you were depicting it. Here is another one about school, because obviously there can never be enough about sex in schools, right? It is an interview for a teacher. So tell us about your qualifications. I'm really into kink, pup play, age play, butt play, leather play, polyamory, glory holes, gangbangs, hentai, loli porn, cuties, child drag shows, satanism, ball worships, BDSM. And then it says, you're hired in front of an elementary school. One, I love that polyamory is in here amongst everything else. That doesn't make any sense at all. Polyamory isn't a kink. It's not even necessarily sex related. You can be asexual and polyamorous. Like, you can have multiple, like, just romantic partners. That's got nothing to do with sex. And even if it did, it's got nothing to do with kink or anyone else's business. I don't understand at all how polyamory fits into that, but whatever. I don't understand the obsession with sex in school. And I said that before, but it's, like, really concerning. Like, the call is coming from inside the house. If every time you think about school, you think about sex, that sounds like something you have to work out. And, like, I hate to break this to you, but teachers do have sex. They do have lives outside of school. There are teachers who have kinks, right? There are teachers who are into BDSM and leather and all that sort of stuff. Like, that is a thing, because teachers are people. They're adult people who have lives. However, they obviously don't bring that to school because it's completely inappropriate. And they're not going to talk about that at school, because it's not appropriate. You don't talk about it in the workplace. You don't talk about it at school. Like, it's truly not hard to grasp. And I need you to stop having this weird obsession with sex and school, because it's starting to seem a lot like projection, and it's a problem, and it's gross, and you need some help. Okay, this is 2 parts, and it is a school shooting drill. The teacher says, school shooting drill, into the safe room, trans kids first. Cis white kids stand guard outside. And the cis white kids like, what? And then they're like, I think I'm trans. Me too. Okay, come in. Welcome, new trans folks. Stunning and brave. Is that everyone? My whole class is trans. And someone's like, there's still one holdout. I don't know in what world you think this is happening, because it's actually genuinely the opposite happening. There have been instances where they try to separate kids into, like, boys and girls, and then, like, non-binary kids get left out and, like, literally sent home before drills have happened. You know, discrimination happens against queer people. It doesn't happen against cis-het white people. That includes at school. Teachers aren't picking favorites here. Teachers aren't trying to save trans kids first. Teachers are trying to save everyone, except I'm sure there are some homophobic, transphobic teachers who maybe have their preferences against trans and queer students that you're not talking about here, because you love to be the victim. You want to be the victim so bad, but you aren't. You aren't the victim. No teacher is trying to turn kids trans. No teacher is favoring trans kids. Like, sometimes trans kids may get a little bit more attention. They may get a little bit more help, but that's a lot of the time because they might be struggling more, because they're having to deal with a lot more mental weight than other kids, because they're having to battle this thing internally while also doing school, where other kids aren't having to do that. But that's not exclusive to trans kids. There's a whole bunch of reasons why some kids may need more help than others, you know? There's a whole bunch of different mental and emotional struggles that kids are going to be going through that require more attention. That's not picking favorites, that's just offering support where it's needed. Okay? I think that the real problem here is the fact that you have to do school shooter drills. Why aren't we focusing on that? This comic just being normal, being like, look, they're favoring kids in the school shooter drill. Why is there a school shooter drill? Why is that a necessity?
Yes.
That's ridiculous. That's so scary and so fucked up. You shouldn't need to do those. You shouldn't have a school shooter problem. Can we focus on that instead? Can you make comics about that instead? About how fucking insane the gun laws are and how much that needs to be fixed? Because they shouldn't be necessary. You know, this whole comic would be completely obsolete if you just got your shit sorted and didn't need to have school shooter drills in the first place. Yeah? Great. Here is someone in front of a trans flag wearing the trans colors. He looks kind of cool. He's got like blue hair and a pink beard, which I'm kind of obsessed with. Saying gender affirmation care, saving kids' lives everywhere. And this one girl, this is an ongoing thing. He has recurring characters and themes in these stories. And there's this one character who has glasses that mean you can see through everyone's bullshit and see what they're really saying. And she puts them on this boy's face because he's clapping for gender affirmation care. And he sees this like kind of scary person saying, cut off your dicks. Because obviously saying gender affirming care exists and it's helping kids is the same thing as saying, hey, children, all of you, get bottom surgery. It's so wild because something existing is not just forcing it on people. It's like, I have a skin condition, right? That required me to take really strong like antibiotics and other medication for a period of my life, right? There was several months where I was taking this medication. I was going to a specialist, which is a dermatologist, right? And sorting that out because I knew that existed. But that's something I needed for my specific issue, right? I didn't go out and start force feeding everyone my medication. I didn't start telling everyone I know, you know, that you have to go to this doctor and get this medication for a condition that you don't have, right? Like, me knowing a dermatologist exists isn't what gave me my skin condition. I knew the dermatologist existed, and so it helped me with the condition that I had. You know what I mean? Like, if I break my arm, I know that I can go to a hospital and get a cast. That's a treatment option that I have, right? My sister broke her arm really, really badly once, right? And she's had to have surgery and stuff for it. So I know that care is available. But I didn't go and get the same surgeries on my arm just because I know it's available to me. It really helped her. Because without it, her arm would be even more fucked than it already is, right? Like, but it's not for me because I didn't break my fucking arm, did I? I didn't dislocate my humerus, so I don't have to get all the things that are required for that, but I know it exists. You know, like, having gender affirming care is there for trans kids who want it. It's not for everyone. Having it exist isn't telling everyone they have to do it. Are you out? What is wrong with you? How do you read those two things the same? You don't. You clearly don't. You just love saying shit when it makes no sense and it's so illogical and like just fucking ridiculous. Like, Jesus Christ, bro. Stop. Stop making shit up. Stop fear-mongering. Stop saying literally the most ridiculous and idiotic things. And you'd think that people have any common sense, right? But the replies are like, yeah, so true. Fuck trans rights. Fuck gender affirming care. Like, what's wrong with you? Surely you can all see how ridiculous and idiotic this is, right? Like, holy shit. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end on this one. I've got a bunch more saved though, so if you want to see a part 2, if you want to see, well, I guess a part 4, if you want to see another one of these, let me know, because I do have more saved. I just have been ranting for ages, so I don't have time to do any more. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you did enjoy it. Over 60% of you are regular viewers but are not subscribed, so don't forget to check and subscribe if you can. I appreciate it. While you're down there, you may as well leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons, whose names are up on the screen right now. And a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Harry, Bobby, Sparrow, Josh, Mandy, Ikazel, Jessica, Eldo, Danielle, Anoli Like Cannoli, Elias, Apollo, Taylor is Trying, Boston,
Doing,
Chris,
like,
and
shading
Amelia. I appreciate you all so much.
for
Thank
very,
you
like-
so much for your support.
like,
If you would
very,
like to go on
like,
Patreon, you can go to
lighter
patreon.com/SavvyCat or
skin
click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month for my videos a day early, as well as
You're gonna
podcasts
get,
a
like,
week early, and then
the
£3 and up you
barely
get things such as
edited
outtakes,
shade.
bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, music updates, and more. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.
When you close your eyes, you replace the darkness with light. You replace the monsters with fairies. You replace them with love.
He's doing this, like, why do they hate him exactly? Like I said, if you're a libertarian in 2024, there's probably, like, you have some real freak-like beliefs. So that means that they're mad because, like, some of them like Julian Assange, for example, and will get upset that, like, Trump didn't free him. Which is not a freak-like belief, by the way. I'm just saying that, like, it can be, like, weirdly good opinions as well. In this, like, unorthodox fashion. I think they just don't like him, probably because of vaccines, I suspect. Like, a lot of libertarians like RFK Jr. And yeah, Trump is no longer an outsider, so he can't really run on the outsider perspective.
Same
they
problems
know
he had in 2020.
Yeah, they know what he's about.
Defending freedom, but I've actually put everything on the line to resist these despots and these stuff.
So now some real commentary starts. Sometimes this is how I feel in this chair. Trump at a libertarian convention, getting booed for my lip takes,
and the very evil regime that his people, because it's probably not him, because he doesn't know where the hell he is. Anyone can talk about defending freedom, but I've actually put everything on the line to resist.
So this is my take here, folks. I think that Trump is making a lot of the same mistakes that he made in the 2020 election. Making Joe Biden seem as if he's a befuddling idiot, which, God, he is, though. That's the thing. He so is, and he can't really string a sentence together. And then also calling him crooked, just like he using the same old things of Hillary Clinton. The only advantage he has this time is Joe is even more dead-looking than he was in 2020. And Joe can't really hide as much as he did in 2020 because we're not in the midst of a pandemic. And then also Joe is just so incredibly unlikable. Do I want food? I could eat Mediterranean chicken. I love Mediterranean chicken. I love that. So I don't know. It is kind of depressing. I get this like sense of optimism because I am starting to get libbed up before the election because the election is coming. The election is upon us. I do start to get libbed up before the election, but then I go see like a clip of Joe Biden shitting his pants in front of college students or some shit like that, and then I just get depressed again. I'm like, how the is he gonna win?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how the he's gonna get it done. You know, I don't think it. I almost don't even think it's possible.
Austin's gonna vote for Jank. That's what I got. Yeah, Trump will win. It won't be anything he did. It'll be because of what Joe didn't do. I mean, I'm not making this call. It's too early.
Now I will make this call. I think Joe Biden's gonna win. I'll make the call early. Here's the reason.
Because you're lived up.
I think Americans right now are politically unengaged. And once the election
he's verbatim repeating what he read on the New York Times yesterday.
No, hold on.
You are verbatim repeating the New York Times article that you read to me yesterday.
No, I actually, they're quoting me because I had this take before. Once people start to engage in the election and the politics, a lot of American voters can't remember what happened a month ago. They're going to be reminded when Trump starts going on that you start to draw a comparison between the two candidates. And
Bro, literally last night was shitting on this New York Times article saying it's copium and it's silly. He literally verbatim repeated the New York Times article he read last night to me.
Does it come with anything like rice or anything like that?
Can
you add rice or something? Or can you get me a pita?
With some hummus? It comes with a pita.
And hummus?
You got fries?
I don't know. I just threw it on there. No, I don't need the fries. Take them off. Sorry.
What the fuck?
Sorry, it was selfish.
You got a chicken breast plate with a grilled veggie kebab on the side and salsa?
Wait, I don't know. I just started. I'm not paying for it. I just started ordering shit.
What? Why would you? Do you want a grilled veggie kebab?
I don't know. It looked good.
You want a hummus on the side? I'm taking the grilled veggie kebab out, and I'm taking the salsa out.
Are you kidding me? You cheap.
No, dummy. It's because you don't know. You're gonna throw it out.
No, I'm not.
That's ridiculous.
I'm gonna donate it.
It's ridiculous that you literally ordered shit that I know you will not eat. You want falafel instead of the grilled veggie kebab? I've never had the grilled veggie kebab, and I don't think you're gonna have it.
I love veggies, but that's okay.
Okay, we'll keep the grilled veggie kebab, and I got you a side of hummus as well.
Y'all know when somebody else gives you the phone and they're paying for it, okay?
Why would you?
You always take chances. Always.
No, there's
right? Everybody knows when somebody hands you the phone and says get whatever you want, you take some chances. And that's me taking the chance.
This is a great restaurant. You could have literally here. This is what the veggie grill looks like.
All right, hold on. Okay,
do you want this?
Some people are saying
do you want this?
When the friend is a multi-gajillionaire,
do you want this?
You want to share it?
No.
Okay, I don't want it. I'll take some hummus though. Look, when your friend is a gajillionaire and hands you the phone, you take some chances.
No, bro, why'd you add salsa on there?
Because I like to dip my chicken in salsa.
You are not going to eat the salsa. You're going to dip it in hummus and the garlic sauce that comes with it.
Okay, fine. All right, fine.
It's ridiculous.
Telling me how to eat. I get it.
I'm taking the grill. Okay, do you want extra chicken breasts? Or is 2 going to be enough for you?
2 should be enough. That's at least 50 grams of protein.
Okay.
And by the way, it's like when you order Taco Bell, you got to order the whole menu.
I cannot. No,
you can never order enough Taco Bell.
I know you. I know you better than you know yourself. Okay. I know your ass ain't gonna eat half those things that you just added on there randomly.
Okay, take them off.
I took it off. Yeah.
Y'all just want to disagree. I feel like Trump at the Libertarian Convention right now.
It's crazy. You made that joke.
You gotta order the.
You did the joke already when I left.
No. I'm just reaffirming. I'm reiterating how I feel. You gotta order the entire menu at Taco Bell, folks. Nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to say it.
All right.
These despots and these stuff.
No, what is he doing?
Damn, they're booing him hard as fuck.
And I stand before you tonight as your best hope of defeating the weaponized Biden.
It's so funny. These guys' entire existence literally revolves around like not giving a shit if the Republicans win or not.
I don't understand it.
That's why they exist, bro.
I can't understand it. On one hand, Biden is wearing a diaper and he's got dementia and he's falling downstairs. And then on the other hand, he's like this political mastermind that is like...
That is so true.
Has this agenda that's manipulating Americans into pushing us into communism. Like, which one is it? Is he shit in the bed? Is he about to die? Or is he political mastermind? Which one is it? And I think this is a problem for the Republican Party. And I think when they're making the same mistake, and Biden is going to come out in June during the debate, and he's going to string like one sentence together, and people because he's going to be loaded up on cocaine.
And the liberals are going to be like, look at how beautiful he is.
No, and it's gonna and he's going to win the debate because the bar is so low. That's it. The bar is so low. They're setting the bar so low because they just can't help themselves. So if he comes out and shows any bit of competency, people are gonna have faith in him. That's why Biden won the debates in 2020. For that same exact reason. He won in 2020 for those reasons. I'm not saying he was good. I'm just saying the bar was set so low for him. And he put together a sentence, and he was able to... I was at those debates, okay?
I remember I was there.
Biden won those debates because of the bar was set so low.
I was standing there with Austin Chow.
Biden won the debates because his opponent almost killed himself by getting COVID.
No, but No. You were there, and I had some hot takes. That was the one time I out commentaried you.
You're actually not wrong about the
I know I'm not wrong.
The low expectation thing though. That's why the State of the Union was like it actually produced a bump for him a little bit, where people were like,
and then
damn,
people forgot.
And it's so funny because it's like we literally behave like children. Like we look at this elderly man like a child.
Yeah.
Where we're like, oh, look at this baby. The baby can talk. Like, isn't that brilliant? And
Exactly.
it's like it's crazy that that's how that is the level of expectations that we have set for the leader of the free world. Like, it's insane.
No,
to
I know.
me.
That's what I'm saying, but that's just the state of the
Anyway, but speaking of the real leader of the free world, let's see what else
Trump
is.
book.
Just some of the things that make me a libertarian without even trying to be
Oh
one.
my
That's
God.
nice.
Oh my God, the book.
D-Roy wrote,
Yeah, kids guide.
Donald J. Trump
Oh
will
my
address the...
You don't have one of those? I have it. I give it to
my
kids all the
God,
time.
That's crazy.
That's nice.
We gotta buy that
That's
book.
nice. Only if you want to win. Only if you want to win. Maybe...
Wow, he's doing the annoying, petulant lib shit of like, oh, you. I guess you don't like winning.
Wait, but this next line is fire.
You don't want to win. Maybe you don't want to win.
I like this next one.
Thank you, D-Roy.
Wait.
Thank you. No, only do that if you want to win. If you want to lose, don't do that.
Wait.
Keep getting your 3% every 4 years.
He's such a petty bitch.
Oh, he's mad.
He's so petty too.
he's mad that he's mad that they don't like him.
That's so funny.
I wonder what he thought what he thought was gonna happen when he walked in here. Like I don't understand why he thinks that this is not gonna be a hostile crowd.
This is why I think this is a win for him. What politician do you know would heckle the crowd back?
Oh,
Like start
100%.
shit.
Yeah, no.
Talking shit back to the
Oh,
crowd.
no. He's an incredible showman. You're absolutely right on that. He is a phenomenal showman, and this is
The
like
biggest
a
showman
very
in Austin
antagonistic
show.
crowd. He's like a comic that's doing like his bit in
They
front
call
of
him
a
Austin
crowd
Show.
of people that despise him,
Yeah.
and he just
But I'm
starts
the real
unloading.
show.
Right? I mean, he's doing that right now. Oh, this is awesome.
Donald Trump.
We'll look at this in a second. God, we're so libbed up. We're looking at Midas
For
touch.
doing so,
Oh, Bill Burr in Philly.
Yeah.
I think you should nominate me or at least vote for me, and we should win together. You heard those words. Nominate me or vote. Vote for me. Because the libertarians want to vote for me, and most of them will. And it's very important.
probably.
He isn't wrong.
He isn't wrong.
Like, people that call themselves libertarians will have and will vote for Donald Trump, regardless of the fact that like he is just a regular Republican. And libertarians are also regular Republicans.
So I'm asking for the liberation. Well, think of it. I'm asking for the Libertarian Party's endorsement, or at least lots of your votes, lots and lots of Libertarian votes.
Lots of them.
Why are you not talking about the massacre in Rafah right now? Because as you guys know, I'm a Zionist and an Israel defender, and secretly for the past 8 months now, where I have offered the 8 to 10 hours of coverage every single day. I actually was I was just trying to hide the truth eventually today. Or maybe it's a Sunday. Honestly, maybe pin a message about it. Brother, sister, themperor.
The Thempers.
Let me tell you something, okay? If you think motherfuckers that come in here and type that shit know how to read, you are out of your mind. Look at the fucking title. What does the title say? It says Sunday Fun Day, special guest Austin show, Rust, exclusive AK drops, the best, most exclusive drops ever. Yeah, all of the money that I'm currently raising, as you can see up here, and all the money that we have raised so far, actually, we were giving to the IDF for DJ equipment. That chatter was right. Okay.
Presidential record. Much of my record is libertarian. So I'm asking for the liberation.
Oh, dude, I fell. By the way, last night I sent Hassan a video from TikTok, and it was AI, and I fell for
You're
it.
such a boomer.
I fell for AI.
You're such a goddamn boomer, dude.
It was a video of Trump saying that you should vote for him because Biden's trying to ban TikTok. And I thought, I was like, wow, this is so
trying to ban
genius,
TikTok.
even though he also tried to ban TikTok. I said, this is so genius. Why doesn't he? This is so, he's going to win. I was like, he's going to win the election. It's over. And then I realized
trying to ban TikTok.
that it was AI.
Repeal
And I
the
fell for it.
so-called guidance letter that turned on-campus sexual harassment accusations into de facto criminal convictions. You know all about that.
What?
He's saying, you know all about that, libertarians.
Who else would do that for you?
He's like, don't worry. No more sexual misconduct. I'm making it free. You can rape to your heart's desire. That's crazy.
And other Christians and opponents of his weapon.
This is classic shit. It was my great honor to
Christians
pardon.
are under attack.
To pardon the peaceful January 6 protesters, or
Oh my
as I
God.
often call them, the hostages. They're hostages.
Traitors! You fascist piece of you. Traitors.
God,
Treasonous.
you are such a liberal. It's crazy. That's like that
treason.
The fact
Jail.
that invokes that
Prison.
level of reaction out of you is hilarious to me. It'll never
funny.
not be funny how fucking insanely libbed up you are.
Fucking traitors.
Like unimaginably libbed up.
He needs to be in
Never been a
jail,
group of
prison.
People treated so harshly or unfairly in
Most
our
likely.
country's history. This abuse will be rectified, and it will be
Dial it down, dork.
rectified very quickly.
Okay, so we got booed a bunch. Okay, you got booed a bunch. Oh, you want to see the Trump diaper
Trump
thing?
supporters wear diapers at rallies. Are they wearing
my gosh,
diapers
it
at
is. It's
rallies?
Midas
People
Touch.
like Adam Kinzinger, who were
seen
around
a Midas
Donald
Touch
Trump,
in a while.
attested to Donald Trump's putrid smell. We broke the story here on the Midas Touch Network.
They broke the story of Donald Trump's putrid smell at the Midas
They
Touch.
always do
That's awesome.
shit like that.
How Donald Trump would kind
I
of
love
fall
these
asleep
guys.
and pass gas during the early
It's
stages
so
of
funny.
the
80, of course he
trial.
does that.
They're trying to get ahead of the fact that Donald Trump smells. Some of them reportedly nicknamed the former
Donald
president Diaper
Trump.
Don, and one woman wore a sweater that said diapers over Dems. We have rated this claim as true. This isn't a Democrat. This isn't a Republican thing. This is just
Really?
some bizarre, this is some strange stuff
Some
that's
weird
now
shit.
happening. And is weird. And I just want us all to unite and just be like, no.
What?
He said, "Let us
Yeah,
all
no,
unite."
he's saying that like Trump supporters are now wearing diapers.
Oh, because somebody said he
Because
wore
that-
diapers
because
in
they're
solidarity.
saying he shits his pants and wears diapers.
3. Please state your name.
Jeff Coleman, Missouri delegate, first time, long time, with a request for information.
Thank you.
Did this body grab a former president by the pussy last night?
Sit down. It's
Because-
completely out of order. No. Sit.
What?
3.
What is this?
Dude, you've never seen the Libertarian Convention, I think.
No, I don't even know what this is.
Hold on. Here.
Something that happens like frequently.
Let's see if I can find
This
it.
feels like the
Hold on. Don't look.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you. Oh, here it is.
Mr. Peterson, I have a feeling.
This is the Libertarian Party presidential debate in Orlando, Florida at the Rosen Center Hotel. It was on C-SPAN. It's from, I think this is the 2021. It might be older. Here is Larry Elder, a person who ran and failed to become the governor of California, who I think it's older. It's like, it might be 2016.
I know how this.
I also have debated Larry Elder in the past, but anyway, he's over here talking, trying to talk some sense to them. He's probably one of the more reasonable libertarians. And that isn't to say that he's actually a reasonable person at all. He's a very unreasonable person. It's just that he is more reasonable in comparison to what you're about to hear.
Should someone have to have a government-issued license to drive a car?
Hell no.
What?
The question is, as the moderator, he says, should someone be issued a driver's license to drive the car? Libertarians do not want driver's licenses. They find that to be unjustifiable.
Do they say it's unconstitutional because it restricts your
travel,
but
free travel?
They didn't have cars when they wrote that Constitution.
You are expecting libertarians to think,
And
which
also
is
driving is not a. You can still pass freely
Let me cut
on
you
foot.
off right here, real quick.
What?
Don't expect libertarians to think.
Okay.
Okay. They just kind of posture and react, and if you just expect them to like think critically about the concept, a concept beyond basically, immediate reactionary posturing, you are going to arrive at a very different conclusion than they will arrive at. It's not DUIs. It's not DUIs, chatters. A lot of you are saying all libertarians have DUIs. No, it's because they literally want their girlfriends to be able to drive without a driver's license. And because they're under the age of 15, they can't even get a fucking provisional license. That's the real reason. Many of you think, oh, it's because they have DUIs. No, that's a separate issue. They also don't want it to be illegal to drive, obviously. But this is specifically licenses. They want children, their girlfriends, to be able to drive to their houses.
Of course.
Did you see the video from England when they banned drunk driving?
There's one from America too, but here, watch. No,
Dr.
this is for
Feldman.
you. I've seen this a million times over. Trust me, this is for you.
Play it.
A car is like a gun or anything else. As long as you're using it right and not using it to hurt other people, you should have a right to use it. A license and a permit is just another way to get some money and inconvenience to people.
I cannot believe this guy's a practicing anesthesiologist. Oh my fucking lord, dude.
Can I say something?
That's a real doctor, bro.
This is a
That's
hot
crazy.
take.
What?
A driver's test has to be one of the most pathetic exams to prove that you're a good driver on planet Earth.
Oh my God, Austin is believing in it. He's a believer. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not. I think you should have to be licensed to drive, but we need to. I'm not saying we need to take out driver's tests.
Oh my God.
I think we need to improve driver's tests. Okay, we need more sophisticated driver's tests. Okay. All right.
Sure. Good save.
You want to know what my driver's test was? I drove around the block. Okay.
Yeah, we know you're bad at driving.
No, literally, my driver's test, I almost took out a biker. I like almost hit somebody that was crossing the road.
I wasn't there, and I know.
They passed me.
I wasn't there,
Okay.
and I know
They
that's what
passed
happened.
me, all right?
It's also because you're
We need
fucking.
to make them more difficult.
It's also because you're in Oregon, and it's like a fucking insane. Pacific Northwest has a lot of like weird places.
I've driven in more places than you. I've driven more types of cars than you.
Yeah, and you've driven all of them poorly.
I'm a much better driver than you. I promise you.
You're objectively false.
Promise you that I've driven pickup trucks, Suburbans, Tahoes.
You've driven all of them poorly.
This summer, I'm renting a motorhome.
Oh no!
I'm driving a motorhome this summer.
Look alive,
That's right.
everybody! Look out!
That's
You
right.
are all going to die.
I have.
Look alive.
Oh God!
That's
a
right.
menace! A menace on the road! Oh no!
Yeah.
Mr. McAfee.
There's nothing funnier to me than being a practicing anesthesiologist and saying like, oh, we shouldn't have any regulatory checks. It's like, bitch, I don't trust you anymore. You should no longer be a doctor. Okay? Automatically disqualified. Like, what? Do you also have that same smoke for the regulatory bodies in place? I'm sure he has a shit ton of smoke for malpractice, but beyond that, does he think that like anyone should be able to be a doctor, for example? Like no regulations need to exist, no licensing?
Okay.
I don't think licenses are required. However, if you are under
This is
16
the hardest part because
and your parents say you can drive
do,
and you haven't done it before, you should put a
finish.
flashing pink light on your roof at least, so we can get out of
a
your way.
piece without
But
the
that
layers.
at the most.
It could have taken
Mr.
twice as
Perry.
long because I didn't have the layers.
The government
Because MS Paint doesn't save its own
for
files.
far too many
So it
things.
just
The
saves it
government
to-
requires
Holy shit,
licenses
is he gonna
for
fly
people to
away?
broadcast
Get
radio.
away.
The government requires licenses to get married. They require a license to drive. What's next? Requiring a license to make toast in your own damn toaster? Absolutely not.
my God,
So
these are
these guys just
these
say
people
shit?
are running for office?
For the Libertarian Party, yeah. That's one of my favorite lines of all time. The what's next? Requiring a license to toast in my own damn toaster in my own damn house. They love it. They loved him.
Governor? I think government has a basic responsibility to protect us against individuals, groups, corporations, foreign governments that would do us harm. In that context, a license to drive? You know, I'd like to see some competency exhibited by people before they drive.
That's controversial?
Yeah.
That's controversial?
I mean, he became the candidate, so it's not like obviously, you know, the room is a little bit different, but they are booing him, yes.
As governor of New Mexico, I vetoed a whole lot of bills. I vetoed the haircutting license. I vetoed all sorts of licensing, but license to drive? I mean, you could, arguably, you could have an insurance requirement, I guess, that then the insurance company would determine. I mean, you got people that are
like, it's so funny. They have, it's just like, as long as it's not the government, like they're perfectly fine with corporate hierarchy and corporate tyranny. But, you know, no government. That's scary. Boo.
blind that would be on the road, I think, that would actually continue to drive until they hurt somebody. I think
they're booing him. They're booing him.
Gentlemen, we have come to the end of the question.
That's
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so just understand that these guys are like fucking full-blown freaks.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 3 out of 6 characters done. Feels good. Feels very nice. So on the board, we got demon. The demon. So these are all characters that they're my OCs, but the past stream where I was writing a preface is for a book that I want to write about these characters in a fictional world, essentially. So obviously MC right here. MC, their name's Bug, non-binary bug creature, part of a semi-hive mind of, what's it called? Of highly intelligent humanoid bug. Like creatures, they are specifically, their pronouns are he, they, so they are specifically a cockroach, of the breed of cockroach. There's plenty of other bug creatures that are of different breeds of bugs, but the most resilient is obviously the roaches. Obviously. Next to them, I'd say maybe the ants, and then for fighting power that rivals the ants, or not even rivals, that dominates, I'd say it would be the wasps. Spiders aren't bugs, so there's no spider creatures, obviously. Spiders are arachnids, no spider creature. Blue Eyes here is, so, well, actually, finishing off with a bug here. They are a level, or grade A, slave to a oppressive hierarchy of humans that, use bug creatures as slaves. The most resilient ones, I would say, are the most, obviously, the best workers are going to be the ants. But if you have, but ants would be grade C creatures, I'd say, because it depends on, like, I don't know, it depends, you know, like, so, like, ants are really good at working together to finish a job, but they're only really powerful when they work together. So because of that, they fall under, like, grade C, because you need a lot of ant humanoids to actually fight in whatever military thing that you need, right? And then, I mean, I grade B would be, you're more useful, stronger, resilient, more impressive abilities types of bugs. So, you know, obviously great agricultural bug people would be, you know, a bee, like a honeybee would be very good with agriculture. Butterflies, very good with agriculture. I'm trying to think. Fireflies, very good with agriculture. They can work at night. They have their own light source. And then you have your grade A's, which are mainly the bugs that can do the most dangerous work you could think of. So mostly this grade is reserved for roaches. So because roaches have an innate ability to self-heal, which comes in later in the story. They can self-heal, not like roaches now, but roaches are very resilient. Being able to swim without oxygen, you could cut them in half and they can continue to live. Obviously the tail of a roach could survive a nuclear blast. And so they're known for being very resilient. So they are used as Class A for dangerous jobs. So very, like, unapproachable for the normal worker, but also too dangerous to send in, too dangerous of work to send in a soldier to do the dangerous work, because the soldiers would be obviously more expensive. But not worth it to send in your basic worker and farmer bugs, right? So there's like this hierarchy of what the humans need, in which humanoid bug creature can fulfill it. So, you know, like, it's mostly like very dangerous mechanical work, any sort of fetching, climbing, they're meant to be used as shields, like human shields, to lay down their life if necessary, purely defensive towards any sort of dangerous situation. That's what the roaches are for. And so they kind of have their own classification of specifically usefulness, because that's what the classifications are, is what they're useful for. And A's are specifically, and that's why I've drawn inspiration from the red shirts of Star Trek, where it's basically these characters are meant to die. They are the ones that die. Their lot in life is to work until they die, and whether or not they die now or later is determined by their luck and how lucky this specific bug is. So that's their whole thing. They and they're not very smart. At least for the most part, most roaches would not be considered smart, but they are fast, they're effective, and they can get in and out of situations very quickly with minimal harm to their person, which is why they're so useful for basic defensive and dangerous jobs. You know, obviously your armored beetle. So the final grade would be grade Z. Those would be special classification animals, mostly the bugs that are known for either having a very strong defense or natural capability versus or strong defense and like capabilities and like offensive abilities and more carnivore like behavior, you know, like that's where you get the parasites, you know, any sort of leech or maggot or, you know, something that leeches off of the environment that doesn't really help the environment. Some worms, flies would also be categorized as an A class. I think that's probably the only other A class creature. Besides maybe a gnat, but gnats are too small to do anything. So they act more as like pixies in the bug world. Since you can't really catch them to make them into slaves, it's more difficult to have a gnat servant. So usually a gnat would be a servant, so that would fall under like a C class or a B class. Most likely a B class, because that's for more refined, specialized bugs. You know, flies are kind of tough to kill a lot of the times, but they don't really like help the environment, but they don't hurt it. You know, just like cockroaches, I'd say. And then anything that eats away, devours at decay, like is there, like maggots are kind of known for eating corpses for the most part. You know, mosquitoes have sharp, like, they look more human than anything, and I think that's what's important. But they do have like blood manipulation abilities, so they have like very like offensive abilities. Wasps would be considered a type Z bug. And any other creature that is just known to kill other creatures in the bug world. If you had enough ants, that would be considered a type Z, but they would only be considered a type Z if they were grouped together and part of the same colony. Because if they're not part of the same colony and like born from the same queen, then obviously they're not going to get along. They could, but you know, you always run the risk of them fighting each other. I'd say the strongest of the ants is probably like those really big red ants, those fire ants. Like the really big ones, obviously a soldier. A soldier ant is obviously going to be like the most useful when it comes to combat on its own. And yeah, you like a soldier ant and a queen ant would be those would be more difficult to get than like a wasp, because they're rare, you know, and a wasp is just a hive of wasps, so it would be easy to find a wasp soldier. So like foot soldiers, it would definitely be like wasps, and then just regular hunter-gatherer ants, and then the soldier ants and the queens would be on their own. They would be Z class units or servants or slaves. For Z class, it's mostly for military gain, though. It's mostly the A class creatures that are seen as a sort of a, oh, like a scorpion. Like you would be able to find a scorpion as a Z class, obviously. A scorpion would definitely fit into Z class. I'm just trying to think. Any sort of poisonous bug, I'd say probably would fit into that class. Any bug with poison or that can cause irritation or some sort of poisonous effect could have that. It just depends on the kind of bug it is. But anyways, long story short, our character here is smarter than the average roach. And if you can't tell by their expression, there's many things that are told and roaches are very common. You know, there's always a roach somewhere in your house, obviously. Maybe not in your house, but around your house. There's roaches everywhere. They give birth. When roaches give birth, they give birth to a lot of roaches. So it's very common to have a class A servant or slave roach person, because they can be used, and that, like, it's very dramatically just like inhumane. They're seen as like lesser creatures because they can survive more than the average human, like just the average human, like somebody that can't use like magical items or abilities. They can survive more than that. But our character Bug, and of course every roach just goes by Bug. They don't have names because they were never given names. So the only name that they've ever heard is Bug. Later on in the story, though, they develop their own name. They kind of get their own name. Yeah, but he's a little self-aware. He understands that what his family goes through isn't normal compared to other bugs. And he wants to understand why humans feel the way they do towards them. And that kind of leads into conflict because bugs are not meant to, like, specifically class A, like a roach is not meant to question the whims of humans, because they are purely servants, like prepared to die at a moment's notice, and if they think for themselves, then they're not doing their job. One thing that separates Bug from his family and other counterparts is that, specifically his family, is that he has elongated antenna. So for the most part, bugs will trim their antennas short, because the only reason you would have antennas that flow downward were if you were going to fight somebody in hand-to-hand combat, at least for the humanoid bugs in this world. So the reason you'd need that is so that you can always detect when something is going to hit your face, right? And that can give you like so, again, since roaches are very quick, it gives Bug time to respond to those sorts of stimuli. Anything that's coming at his face, they will get plenty of time to react to it because of their elongated antennae. So for the most part, like, roaches will have like short antennae that stick upward, which is it's just a popular thing so that when roaches are sitting on the ground when they're done with work, their master can count them. It's easier to count them because they can just count by twos and then they have all the roaches they need. But if your antennae are too long, they weigh down and then they kind of flow a little more like strands of hair, which would make it more difficult for your human master to count you and make sure that you are still in the group, which plays into Bug's whole thing, where he wants to escape and make his own life, and wants to understand the true, like, power imbalance between humans and insectoids, you know? And then Blue Eyes. He's probably one of the more simpler characters to explain in this entire roster of characters. He's just stoic hero from small village that, you know, is part of a regiment of sort of like paladin like how you say, like warriors, like not like knights. They function more as paladins because they use like magical abilities, like holy divine abilities that give them extra strength, extra speed. The weapons they carry are divine in nature, so any sort of demonic entity built of magic can be hurt severely with the blades that they use. But he's kind of just a scruff, like rough and tough character that's kind of seen the world just barely. Just like he went from his small village to like a big town with like a castle in the center of it. And that kind of changed his viewpoint on the world, because in his small town he was always known as like the town exorcist. So any sort of demonic creature that would show up, he would easily dispatch it. The hat he wears is from his father, who he gave him the hat because that's what the old, like, royal guards used to wear in the town that he's going to. They don't wear it anymore, which is why it looks goofy, because it's an old timey, like, very fashioned wardrobe. The bottom half of the wardrobe hasn't changed from when his father was in the Royal Guard. But they removed the hats. Because when, like, demons would see the hats, they'd try to, like, grab onto them and disorientate the exorcist royal guards. And that's why this one's so beat up, because every time a demon would, like, scratch it and break it, it was always, like, his duty to fix it himself rather than, like, pass it on to his wife, who could do, like, actually sew in the proper colors of seams and, like, do everything the proper way. You know, like, she knew her way around, like, a sewing kit, where he didn't allow that. He didn't kind of want that, because he was very traditional, and, like, at least for the royal guards, you have to fix your own garments, or else you could lose, you know, like some sort of holy divine energy that is being passed through it. So if you don't keep your garments fixed, you could lose some of that energy. And if you don't fix the garments yourself, you could lose some of that energy. And so this character, he kind of just, I don't have a name for him yet because I made him a long time ago. But he kind of just, he keeps the hat for specific reasons, right? So, like, his dad obviously put a lot of time and effort into keeping the hat, you know, as well maintained as you could keep, like, a hat that he wore for maybe, like, 30 years of service, you know, because they work a little longer, you know, like, I don't know, it's like, he could have, like, retired at maybe 20-ish years, just due to the fact that they function more as like police against demonic entities. Like there's normal guards, right? But the royal guard are exorcists. They're meant to dispatch any sort of demonic or supernatural entity. But he keeps the hat because it's a good luck charm. Since it's passed down from one generation to another, he believes that it has luck imbued into it, so anytime he gets into some sort of fight with a demon and the hat comes off, the fight becomes more difficult. But anytime he has the hat on, it's almost as if he can't lose, you know? It's like a relic. It's like a lucky charm that, even if completely destroyed, if he were to take one patch of the hat and sew it into a new hat, the luck would continue to pass through, you know, like a ship of Theseus sort of situation, but it's a hat. So it's very interesting. And then his bottom, the garb under, the garb he wears, like he has a large trench coat with gold buttons. It's double-breasted, so it's got one gold button on one side that hoops in, and then another one that's decorative, with a golden chain and two dangling pendants. It's just a trench coat. It's nothing crazy. He has a sword, but at least at this point, he doesn't really have any sort of magical item. He just has magic blessings that he can imbue onto himself, others, or his weapons, essentially. And then the last one here is very interesting. I don't want to spoil too much, but, you know, just based off the design alone, this character is a demon. Something that Blondie would fight. I'd say this character is like the complete opposite of Bug, because Bug wants to know and understand his place in the world, when this demon, which is known as Gluttony, demons don't have names, they only have sins that they partake in. So every demon that is a gluttonous demon would be called Gluttony, because they are all part of the same sin. So they all form from the same sin. Obviously they are Gluttony, they're non-binary, because they're a demon. They're a purely energy-based being of sin. You know, they don't really have genitalia. And that serves the demon well, because the mouth, again, they're Gluttony, so obviously if you get chomped on or eaten by this character, you're not gonna have a good time, because what that mouth do, and basically what it does, is it swallows you, and if they swallow you whole, you fall into an infinite void of their stomach. Like, you know how Kirby has an infinite void of space in their stomach? this character also has something similar to that, where you will fall forever into an infinite void until you obviously die of starvation and then turn to dust, and then the dust keeps falling until it turns to nothing. And then that's kind of how the character replenishes their health or their abilities by doing that. And due to their age, that's not too difficult. So you don't want to get eaten by this character. The trouble about that, about not getting eaten, is that the mouth, or the mouths, or the one mouth, depending on what the character's feeling, can move and shape around the body. The only place it can't move is in the right eye. The right eye always has to be there, because that is the center point. That's the jewel, the most solid area of the demon, is the right eye. Big glowing weak spot, essentially, but it's very small glowing weak spot, so either way, you don't want to punch. The defense is great. Demon teeth are surprisingly strong armor. You don't want to punch them in the face, because you could lose a hand in an instant. All they have to do is open a mouth, and then your hand is gone. If you're lucky and they don't swallow you whole. Armored defense. Obviously, they could completely cover their body in teeth, or at least cover the most essential parts of their body in teeth. So when you hit it, you're hitting demon teeth, which is gonna be difficult to break through. Either way, they can replenish the teeth, because they are a sin of gluttony. So gluttony needs teeth to eat things, so, they're probably not gonna run out of teeth. Demons have a well of power that they draw from, and so not every demon draws from the strongest well of power. This demon in particular obviously draws from one of the 7 deadly sins, which is the strongest wells of power. But other demons are like the sin of you were kind of you lied, lying is a sin, or you committed adultery and that's a sin. Yeah, but it's not lust. It's just you committed adultery, or something like that. And so the sin of adultery will form as a demon, or some shit like that. But the strongest ones are always going to be the sins of the 7 deadly sins. So, gluttony, pride, envy, lust, wrath, and greed. For now, though, the only real person from that entire group of demon sins is this character. Sadly, from the 7 deadly sins, only one of a sin can be born. But if this sin is exorcised, killed, or just completely destroyed by some magic, then they wouldn't technically die. It would just, they would revert back to a state of an egg, and then go back to hell, and then eventually, in some unknown time, it could be immediately, it could be in the far distant future, they could be reborn. It just depends on how much of that sin is being partaken of by humans and other creatures within the world. So if there's still a lot of gluttony in the world and you kill this character, they might come back immediately as the same person. But if there's not really that much gluttony and you kill them, it might take them a while, and they most likely will come back as a different person that doesn't remember what happened to their last life, reincarnation. But yes, very powerful. You don't want to mess with the 7 deadly sins, at least in this world. They don't appear very often, because once one appears, most of the time it's like a whole endeavor to get rid of them, you know, to return them back to hell, to the point where they've kind of come accustomed to it. And that's what I mean that they are the opposite of Bug. Because they know what their life is. Like, they know what's going to happen. The second that they appear on Earth, they appear on, like, the human realm, they will be hunted down and executed just due to the fact that they exist. And that's why they have plans to prevent that from happening and possibly continue the growth of the 7 deadly sins and returning the different sins back to the human world where they originally came from, obviously. But they don't play nice, at least with other sins, because they're just lesser, you know, they're not as powerful or as useful or as vague, what have you. My favorite ability of this character, though, is that they can become invulnerable to damage, which is the crazy power scaling, where essentially the character can open its mouth so wide that the mouth starts inverting and the backs of the teeth will hit the fronts of the, or will hit the other backs of the teeth, and essentially it swallows itself. So that it ends up in the void, or it becomes the void that is inside of their stomach. So, other than that, not really anything else. You know, advanced strength, speed, the basic stuff you'll find in some sort of demonic creature. Can't fly, can't shoot, like, energy blasts, you know, like, just very basic, more organic, sort of subtext type deal. Bug can shoot lasers, though. But that's like a way later on in the overall story. Bug is my oldest character. These two are great. Once I redraw these three, I'll give you the lore on them. These two are my favorite. Like, overall, like, obviously Bug is, like, MC, so clearly, like, there's gonna be some bias, but these two, the gray guy and the like phantom looking dude, those are my favorites. This one's the horniest character, but not a demon. Demons look scary. Anyways, let's save this. Save as, since we finished our little friend. Huh? Oh, I see it. Let's replace it. I gotta get to bed because I got work in the morning. Hell yeah. I was kind of like questioning if I should move the blondie up closer to the center of the piece, but because I added the hat, it like it just adds so much like context and like, I don't know, it's great. It's a hat, it's a hood, it's like a thing that drapes over his head. I don't know if it's a hat or a hood. I don't know anymore. It's not like I'm gonna like, I mean, I guess I'd have to describe what it is if like he ever took it off, but that would be rare. I don't know if he'd ever take it off unless it was like taken off of him. Then I don't know. Anyways, it's saved, so we're good to go. Cool. Design-wise, though, I'm always gonna like the... I'm always gonna like Gluttony. I think Gluttony is always gonna be, like, one of my favorite designs. I forget what the inspirations are of it specifically. I think one of them was, like, a Joker grin. I was like, oh, it was like high school. I was like, I want a character that has a big fucking Joker grin. And then when I started drawing, I was like, but what if the grin was like a face scar, you know? And then I was like, an eye scar. And then it turned into like a smile that wraps around the person's body. A smile so large it wraps around the body. You know? And it gives it this creepy, sort of like sad, jolly look to it, which kind of encompasses like gluttony in a lot of ways. You know, it's just like, oh, gluttony is like the sin of like having too much in excess. And that's kind of what this character is. It's such like the grin is so big it encompasses the entire body, like literally just too much of a good thing in excess, and you can see it in their eyes that because of that they've become like cynical and jaded because they've just had so much of a good thing, and that completely ruins their point of view in life. Very interesting, I think. Don't know how I came up with that, honestly, a long time ago. But I really enjoyed drawing this character. This is like one of the first OCs I think I ever drew. That wasn't like me in cartoon form. I think after that, I'd say Blondie came after that. And then one of the characters that was on here, that was in Gluttony spot, was, I just didn't like the way that he looked, and I'd rather Gluttony be there. More villainous looking, more colorful character design, contrasts Bug's character design a lot. You know, it was Gluttony, then that character that was in Gluttony spot, then this character, Blondie, then Bug, because I reused the long-haired guy, not this character, the blue hair, I'm talking about the other one that was on here before. Then I made, oh, there's actually two. Oh, yeah, that's right. Then I made WF over here. Fucking white phosphorus. That'll come in later, don't worry. That's a reference. And then, gray dude. Creepy gray dude. And then finally, blue-haired, like, trans character. Yep. But hopefully I can get, I don't know which one I want to do next. I think I should work on this character, and then, or maybe this character would be the easiest one to do though, because when I was making this character, WF over here, white phosphorus, fucking, I just call him white. He's just white. And that's not his name. That's just like a code name that I'd give him. Honestly, out of all the original drawings, I think this one is the best. Like, from the original sketches I made, this one is the best. Just, there's something about, like, the shading I did on this one that just looks... It's so good. It's just, I guess it's just such like a simplistic design that it kind of just like bleeds into the original sketches that are underneath this image, like several layers deep, just like completely buried to the sands of time. Yep. But I'm glad I finished the shading. It'll be easier to do like the shading on the other ones if I can finish them in time. Because I had to like do the shading while on top of the already existing image, so it was more difficult. That's okay. Anyways, I think I got it. Just gonna check again. Yeah, that's the picture. Alright. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your viewership and I hope you have a good day. It's been 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's been a good stream. Maybe one day I'll do a 9-hour stream again. Who knows, really? I don't know why I got... When did I... Oh, I think I got home, and then I took a shower and I didn't eat, and that, like, led into a 9-hour stream? Or what was that put... It doesn't matter. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. See you in the next stream tomorrow, most likely. This is the current project, you know. I told you guys I was gonna be doing art, and hey, here I am, making some art for you. That's what it's about, baby. That's what it's all about. Thank you for watching. Have a good night, and enjoy the music.